Good evening, race fans. Welcome to Backfire Simsport TV and welcome to the BSTV GT4 TCR Challenge Season 9, Round 10, brought to you live from the Pork Chop, also known as Road Atlanta. I'm Clyde Whiting, and in the booth with me, as usual, it is the one and only Sir Alan Toon. Good evening.
Oh, good evening, Clyde. Good evening. Good evening, everybody. Yes, I'm all prepared this week. I'm looking forward to this. I love this circuit, and should be a great race tonight.
And thankfully, we are back to having a semi-professional cameraman tonight. It's Mr. Sam Boozin. Good evening.
Good evening, everybody. We did well, I think, on the V8 broadcast.
I think it was more luck than judgment, if I'm honest. But
We will see on the next one.
We'll leave it at that. So, Alan, yes, Road Atlanta. Now, when I first started on iRacing many moons ago, I absolutely hated this track. But it grew on me, and it grew on me, and it grew on me, and now it's one of my favourites. What do you think?
Oh, well, I'm with you. But I actually liked it from early on. I was taken, in my early days, I was taken around it. It was one of the first circuits I had some... Pete Van Gool gave me my first instructions around it. He used to come and tow me around and show me how to get around corners and things, and give me helpful insights. And of course, I've got really happy, nostalgic feelings for the place because of that. And I love to drive this. I love this circuit. And no matter what the car is, I've raced everything from Formula cars to GT cars to little Mazdas, and they all say the same thing. They love it here, and can you bring me back again soon?
Yeah, it certainly can provide some really good racing with the right drivers. Right, let's bring everybody up to speed on where we are, because we are actually at the business end of the season. As we said before, round 10. Last time we was here was back in season 6. Tyler Newitt won the GT4 race in a Porsche, and Stephen Walker won the TCR race in an Audi. They both got sorry, no, they didn't. I can't read my own printing here. Lap records were both set in season 6. Tyler Newitt in his Porsche did a 124.696 in GT4, and Gary Craig in an Audi did a 128.576. The Drivers' Championship, still nice and close. Simon Trendle, 5.56. Stephen Walker, 5.05. Stefan Goebel, 4.46. TCR Drivers' Championship, again, still close at the top. Sam Blees, 5.38. Matt Elmore, 5.17. And Carl Hardy, 4.55. Teams' Championship, close as well, the top two. Spectre 6 TCR 979, Team Chimera 972, and way back in third, Alpine Stars Geodesic Racing Black with 781. Matt Elmore leads the way, driver of the meeting with 9 votes. Simon Trendle second with 7. Stefan Goebel third with 6. 6. I can't even say it. 6. In the head-to-head, we are in the second race of the two-legged semi-finals. In TCR, semi-final 1, JB Dejoux leads David Ayres by 40 points to 0. And I don't see David Ayres on the list tonight, so JB could be going through to the final, I think. And in semi-final 2, Matt Elmore and Russell Cowell tied on 54 points. And they are both here, so that one's going all the way. GT4 semi-final 1, Simon Trendle leads Stefan Goebel by 71 to 45, and in semi-final 2, Stephen Walker leads Jamie Wilson 71 to 42. Last time out was Road America. GT4 was a win for Simon Trendle, followed by Stephen Walker and Chris Needham, and Wobbly Kneecaps won the TCR race with Sam Blees in second and Matt Elmore in third. So that is everybody up to date. Currently in qualifying, Hugo Hlouet leads the way in GT4. Simon Trendle second, Stephen Walker third. Russell Cowell leads the way in TCR with Sam Blee second and Carl Hardy in third. What's your favourite part of this track then, Alan?
I like that big curly bit, just where he's going under the bridge. What do they call it? That big curly bit. You know, when he goes round. Yeah, that's very nice.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know where you are. The bit leading up to the chicane.
Yes.
Yeah. Now I like the other side of the track. The sort of turns 12, 13, 14, 15 S's complex. It's where they are now. But it's one of them. There's bits on certain tracks throughout the world that when you get it right, there is such a feeling of satisfaction. And there's not many turns that I get right very often. So I think probably for me, it's even more satisfaction than these guys that show us how to do it week in, week out.
Yeah. Well, it always terrifies me, that bit of the track, because it's so downhill and you've just had this blind crest coming up the hill, and it's so hard to get, for me anyway, you know, to get that first right-hander and then left-hander going down. I can never get the braking right because the gradient defeats me, and then I'm struggling, and there's the last one, the left-hander at the bottom of the hill, where we're going there now, there's the left-hander, and here you've got to turn in early. If you don't get in early, you're on that sand and you against that fence there, that wall. It's very welcoming, or you can spin on the other side. Either way, lethal.
Yeah, I think the reason I like it is because it is technical, and it's a combination of corners that you have to get all of them right, you know, in the right sequence, obviously, because you're only going one way round the track, but you only need to get one of those 4 or 5 turns wrong and the whole complex is ruined.
Yes. No, I don't think I've ever actually got it completely right, but I live in hope, you know, and I've been driven this track for a few years now, and every time I go here, my time's a little bit better. And, you know, it's a place you can work at, and, you know, you get familiar with the line, you get familiar with the corners, and you can just, over time, incrementally, just adjust and twitch your line, and eventually I'll have it perfect. But it's such a pleasure to drive it. You know, I've spent a lot of time at the back in my early days. I still spend a lot of time in the back, but not quite so lonely. But driving around here, you don't really mind being by yourself. It's a challenge to hustle the car around and do a good lap time. It's always nice and enjoyable to drive it. Very
and rightly, you know, like I say, the part of the track that I like is technical. You've got to think about it. You know, I think every lap you're trying to find the perfect line, and then you get around to the other side of the track that you like, and you get a little bit of a break, don't you? It's, you know, pretty much one line. You've got the bone of the pork chop, as I always call it, and then, like you say, you're into that. It's not really straight, but it's a big flow that leads all the way down to the chicane, and then you're back on the start-finish straight and setting yourself up ready for the twists and the S's again.
Of course, if you don't get that hairpin bend onto the, well, we'll call it straight because it's fairly straight, but it's a long run in top gear, and if you don't get that last hairpin pinned pretty good, you're carrying that lack of speed for a very long way, and you're going to arrive at the chicane at the other end having lost time, and that is always disappointing. You can't get it back, you know, if you don't get that hairpin right and carry the pace through. You can't get that speed back, and you end up here, and you're always chasing the pace. And this,
yeah, you can end up very vulnerable, can't you, going into that chicane, like you say, if you get
it's an overtaking place, isn't it? You know, it's a
Yeah.
great overtaking place. I've been done on the inside, on the outside, every which way there by brave, skillful drivers.
But
And
a
we've
very
got a hatful of those tonight.
Yeah, a very difficult chicane as well, though, isn't it? Because you're coming off that very, very long, not straight, so you're not far off top speed. Then throw into the mix, it's downhill. Also throw into the mix that a lot of the time you will see drivers on what we would say is the wrong side of the track because they want to try and defend. So they'll be running down the left-hand side and making that chicane really tight. And I've seen, I've made a lot of mistakes going into that chicane, and I've seen a lot of top drivers make mistakes going into that chicane as well, just because it's downhill and the entry or the speed leading up to the chicane is so quick.
Yes. Well, it's sharply downhill there, and just to hear that corner there, you've got to get the braking right. It's essential to get the braking right because it's so sharp downhill, and there's so often somebody alongside you, like you say, trying to defend the chicane. So you've got somebody neck and neck at your side. You're going down there. You're confronted with this horrendous left-hander that is sweet if you can get the right line through, but it's a nightmare if you don't. And it's a scary old place. We'll see lots of people doing dives there and trying to break people's concentration, maybe just get them to be a little bit wide. It's definitely an overtaking situation, and people will make the most of it. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, and the other thing that in the past that I found, I'm going to say tricky here, is the pit entry. Because it's another one of those tracks that doesn't have a straight line as a pit entry. You can quite easily carry too much speed. Sam's got it on the screen for us now, and you can see it sort of bends to the right, bends to the left. Then you're looking at a 90-degree turn to actually get onto the pit lane. And I've had a few, shall we say, accidents trying to get in the pits here.
Well, it's blind, isn't it? There's a blind crest just before you're having to turn, and it makes it tricky because if there's somebody lurking just behind you, you can actually turn into them without even knowing that they're there. So it is a hairy old place. You're right. It's the blind crest just before that makes it. They're like blind crests there, don't they? There's two that are absolute killers.
Yeah. Right, so we're into the last couple of minutes of qualifying. What have we got? Changes in both classes. So Hugo Rouet still leads the way in GT4, Simon Trendle second, but Stefan Goebel has got himself up into third place. And TCR seems to be changing all the time. I looked 30 seconds ago, Sam Blees was on provisional pole. That's now Carl Hardy is on provisional pole, which has dropped Sam down to second and Russell Cowell in third. So all going on in qualifying at the moment, Alan.
Yeah, good times as well. It looks like they've taken a second off the old lap records in practice. We're just done the 27.5. I think it was at 28.5 was the lap record with Gary.
Yeah, 28.5 and a 24.6 in GT4. So looks like we could be on for some new lap records in season 9.
And look how close the times are as well.
Yeah, not a lot, is there? Not a lot in the whole field, to be honest.
This is a great place for close racing. The carriageway is just wide enough you can get 3 wide occasionally, and it does encourage you to be brave because everybody knows it well, and they know the place. There's somebody going in. It's wicked old little pit entry, but everybody knows this place, and we're getting to this, like you say, we're getting to the sharp end, week 10. Goodness.
Yeah, we've got 2 rounds left after this. Let me just get up Tinternet and I'll find out where we're going. I should know this, but I'm rubbish. So next week we go to Fuji. somewhere that we've not been to before, only just released this season on iRacing. And then we finish off at Virginia International Raceway, which is always a, let's say, a tricky beast. So yeah, a couple of fascinating races coming up. Checkered flag is out for quali, so drivers will finish their laps, and we'll see if there's any more changes before we get going. Certainly not going to be for Stephen Walker, because I've just seen him go round. You've definitely got Andrew Littler and Shane Powell still out on track. And he reaches for the aircon button. There it is.
Yes, we're missing a couple of our result. Holidays are affecting us badly. We haven't got David and we haven't got Martin.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, so let's give our viewers the official starting grid for round 10. In GT4, Hugo Hruet for Fiercely Forward takes the pole. Simon Trendle, Team Chimera in second. Stephen Walker, Spectre 6 in third. VTS Esports and Stefan Goebel in fourth. Chris Needham for RWC Racing Red in fifth. Jamie Wilson, Team Chimera in sixth. And Jason Haddington, RWC Racing Blue in seventh. Carl Hardy took the pole position in TCR for Safeguard by Results. Sam Blee second, Alpine Stars Geodesic Racing Black. Third was Russell Cowell, Spectre 6 TCR. Fourth, Matt Elmore, Spectre 6 TCR. Fifth was Shane Powell, Spectre 6 Solo. JB Dejoux, LMT Racing in sixth. Matt Flannery, Alpine Stars Geodesic Racing Black in seventh. And Andrew Littler from whatever hotel he's at tonight, Spyro by Result in eighth place. So 15 cars on the grid, 7 GT4s, 8 TCRs. We just wait for the pace car to get things moving. And it is going to be a full parade lap. As usual, folks, don't be surprised if there is a big gap between GT4 and TCR by the time we get the green flag. Nobody wants to get caught up in anybody else's accidents, so they tend to do that on purpose. You can see them sitting in the background there. 60-minute race, a forced pit stop due to limited fuel. Now that always shakes things up. We never really know who's doing what till it's all been done and dusted. And obviously it can affect people in different ways. You can have people that are having a fabulous race and ruin their pit stop and it turns into a nightmare. And you can have people that are having a nightmare of a race, pull a stunt in the pit stop, and suddenly they're a lot further up the field than they were.
It's never happened for me, though.
You obviously haven't pitted enough.
I'm hopeless with the pits. All fingers and thumbs with buttons.
Yeah, I find it tends to... I do like to set my pit stop up whilst I'm sat on the grid waiting. If we then get 2 pit stops, that's when I get what they call switch pigs.
I'm never confident enough to start unticking boxes while I'm on the grid. I wish I was. I admire your confidence. I should practice being more confident and self-assured and untick boxes. I used to have it on automatic, but of course that doesn't work anymore. They've stopped it for some reason. Command doesn't work at the moment. Well, this is exciting. We've got a whole lap of warm-up, but they'll be glad of it because that first little section, your twisty bits, is murder on cold tyres. So actually, this is probably doing them a bit of a favour, getting a little bit of heat into the tyres just before they've got to go over that blind crest, down that really quite steep section with cold tyres.
Yeah, and I expect Hugo to go fairly early, if I'm honest. That tends to be the way around here.
There's a lot on these first four, isn't there? They're close racing, close in time.
Yeah. And he's
In
gone.
fact, all of them, yes. It's going to be a tight race.
Yeah, Stephen Walker trying to put some pressure on Simon Trendle right from the get-go, but tucks in behind. TCR's away as well. They're all a line astern, which would be a relief for some drivers. You see the pace car get abandoned in the pit lane.
He's done his job.
So, first job is to settle in, get some heat in and pressure into those tyres. Also, at the same time, weighing up where you think you are better than the car in front. Where can you plan an overtake in the future?
Yeah, there's very little in the times of any of these people. So it's not going to be easy making a pass. It's going to require exceptional timing and really a good call. So we'll see. There are places where you can do it, and we're coming up to one now.
Yeah, it is a track, isn't it, that you can set people up from a few corners back. Oh, here we go, straight away. That's Russell Powell putting a move on Carl Hardy for the lead of the TCR race. Yeah, I won't mention any names, but I was done by a particularly good V8 driver around here who feigned a move going into the twisty section with me looking in my mirror, which made me defend slightly, but then got me offline for the rest of the S's, and he just powered past me at the end. Oh, JB's doing a bit of drifting.
Oh, that didn't turn out well.
Oh, Matt Flannery only just managed to miss him there.
Oh, goodness. Oh, I didn't think that.
Oh, hello.
Hello. Hey, hello. Just helter skelter.
That's Russell Cowell. He was in the lead. What's he done here? Oh, he's got the S's wrong. He's got the S's wrong, and he's hit the landmine.
Oh, that was a heck of a clatter.
Okay, can you explain to me what just happened?
Yeah, it was a landmine.
Yeah, it's more a let loose than iRacing, I'm telling you.
Can we see that close up in slow motion? The moment he hits the landmine. Get ready. There you go.
Look at that. Goodness me, I've never seen that. Look at that.
Yeah, that should make the not top 10, but I'm not sure iRacing will make it in the not top 10.
Yeah,
anyway.
They don't tend to do it if it's a mistake in the track, do they? And I actually thought they'd got rid of those. There used to be many, many more of them, but we've just found another one. iRacing, sort it out.
I can't believe I haven't hit that. Maybe I have. Obviously.
Well, yeah, and the thing is, obviously, he was leading the TCR race, so most of the drivers were fairly close behind, and they are going to be very worried about that curb now.
Yes. Oh, dear. Oh, Russell, I do hope you can get repaired. That's very unfortunate for him.
Okay, so this is Simon Trendle putting pressure on Hugo Rouet. Oh, and Steve Walker. Oh, was there a touch there? I think there may have been. Let's have a closer inspection on this. Most definitely, yeah.
Got his braking wrong.
There was a nudge. Obviously, Simon Trendle's not going to be very happy about that, but knowing Stephen Walker, he's not going to be happy that he did it either.
It's very difficult braking, and he got it wrong.
Not that type of driver.
It's in some of the tracks we've had distinct car advantage.
Sam,
But I don't think we have with this one particularly.
yeah, Sam Blees there as well, doing a bit of cross country.
This should suit the GT, both the Porsche and the Mercedes quite well. I've driven both these cars around there. They both like this circuit. So.
Yeah, it's got a bit of both, hasn't it, in
Yeah.
this track? It's not tight and twisty all the way round, or it's not Daytona all the way round. So, yeah, I think the different cars will be stronger in different sections, won't they?
Yeah, it's. Well, Hugo's doing well. Let's see how that goes. He's got a gap now. He's got what, nearly 3 seconds.
Nearly
Over
3
7.
seconds. Yeah, well, that was obviously helped with the nudge from Stephen Walker on Simon Trendle.
Even if we're feeling terrible.
Matt Elmore putting a lot of pressure on Carl Hardy for the lead of the TCR race. Obviously, Carl Matt Elmore have taken the lead there, because Carl Hardy will now press the landmine button again.
It's, these two are going to relish being at the head of the field. They've moved their little duel from the mid pack all the way through last season to the head of the field now, and this is really brilliant. It's great to see my captain dicing for the lead with his mate Matt.
Yeah, it's. I thought they was going to try too wide there through the S's, but that's not usually a good idea.
That doesn't normally stop them, Clyde.
Oh, keep away from that curb. Stefan's going wide.
Oh, that's so easy.
That is. You feel like you can carry so much more speed out of that corner.
It's split-second timing, isn't it? Getting off just the right, dab on the brake and just getting the turning just right.
Yeah.
If you get it right, it flies around and you think, well, how could I ever have got it wrong? But of course, the next lap, you get it slightly wrong and that's it, you're spinning.
Chris Needham putting a move on Jamie Wilson.
Well done, Chris.
Good move, that.
Chris drove a great race last week. He's found
Jason
a bit of form in the
Haddington.
form, hasn't it? End of season.
Jason Haddington keeping in touch with these, but
Yeah, isn't it lovely? Come on,
he's being
Jason.
closed down now by the recovering Simon Trendle.
Jason won't mind that. I'm able to get a bit of toe. If you can keep up with Simon, that's a good bumper to try and latch onto.
Yeah, I have a feeling Simon may make short work of these guys, but he's got to catch them first.
That's been our experience, hasn't it? And after his double fight back last week, where he drove through the field twice, that was a remarkable performance. And for conditions.
Yeah, you can see obviously 6th, 5th, and 4th. They're right in front of him, so there's points to be had there.
He won't be panicking. He'll be, he'll be okay. It's very early days, and he's calm and controlled driving. He'll know exactly what he's got to do. He's quite capable.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to get flustered, does he?
Not in my experience. He's a thoughtful driver. He thinks things through and doesn't react emotionally. He manages to have that bit of professional distance. It's always a good thing if you can.
So these three don't seem to be going away from each other at all, although Sam Blees has dropped 2 seconds back, obviously not helped by his excursion.
I wonder if he's got a damage.
Well,
you'd expect
yeah,
Sam to be right up with the pace, to be honest.
Yeah, he did bounce across quite a bit of the grass.
If he's just got even a slight bit of anything, it can cost him a couple of tenths a lap, can't it? Oh, interesting situation. Let's see what develops. And
Yeah, I'm now wondering
poor
if
Russell, they're going to
Carl
get...
Carl Hardy has got some sort of Mario Kart thing going on here, and he threw a banana at Russell.
Russell's got his work cut out, hasn't he? Still, it's a long way to go, and he's got pace.
Yeah, and you never know what's going to happen.
Certainly don't.
We've seen the landmine strike once, so it can always happen again to somebody else. Although I'm sure I've been watching some of the GT4s take those curbs, and I'm sure some of them took them exactly the same as Russell did, and nothing happened to them.
Yes, I thought that as well. They seem to go exactly the same place and no explosion. I think your description of a landmine was absolutely spot on. It looked just like why even smoke came up. I was looking for shrapnel.
Simon Trendle has got past Jason Haddington on his recovery drive. Teammate Jamie Wilson is the next car in his sights.
I'm going to be licking his lips. Come on, Jason. Keep some of that valuable toe. I like Jason. He's a very nice person, and he tries hard, and he's a gutsy driver who wants to do his best, and I like to see that in people.
Yeah, and I would also add to that, as Carl Hardy put some pressure on Matt Elmore, we gave Jason the moniker of Kylie because he was forever spinning around. But you can see the improvement because he's cut a lot of that out of his driving now. What's
Yes.
Steph doing now? Is he going to go wide again? No, but what happened to Stephen then? Did he have to get out of that?
Oh, did he have a slowdown?
I was busy staring at Stefan, so
Yeah,
up into second.
Steven just put a wheel in the grass and had to slow down that spin.
Well, Stefan's in second. He's going to be happy, boy.
Yeah, so Simon up behind teammate Jamie Wilson. Don't think Jamie will fight this too hard.
No.
He didn't defend it, didn't go left. It's a done deal. There's enough curb on that chicane that you don't lose that much speed taking it tight, but he's immediately trying to get past Chris Needham, which he needs to do because he's got to chase down them front three.
Look how much time it's only 4 seconds away now. So
the battle for the championship is pretty much between Simon Trendle and Stephen Walker, so Simon doesn't want to lose too many points to Stephen. Oh, this is looking good. There's a good exit there. I'm not sure Chris is going to be able to do anything about this unless he goes totally defensive. Oh, he was very early on the brake.
Ooh, he got nudged, didn't he?
There was contact there, and Simon's slowing down to let him go past again.
Such gentlemanly driving.
Again, that is one of those, two drivers in the same class, even the same car in this instance. And you can see how much earlier Chris was braking for that corner, and I think that just... I don't think Simon was expecting it.
It's almost like he braked into Simon rather than Simon. He wasn't on the brakes at all, was he? He wasn't expecting that. But no surprise to see Simon give the place back, and he's off chasing again now.
Yeah, now he's got to do it all again.
Certainly keeps him motivated, being at the back.
Well, it gives him plenty of overtaking experience, doesn't it?
Yeah, he got
all
plenty
good.
last week. Goodness me, he drove fantastic last week.
Oh, Sam believes, because I wouldn't say these three are fighting, but I think they are slowing each other up slightly, which is bringing Sam Blees into this battle. It's going to be a 4-car battle at the front of TCR's very soon.
They are looking very comfortable, those three, aren't they? It's like old friends week. That's not going to survive when Sam arrives.
No, Sam will most definitely have a go at shaking these guys up.
Poor Russell is going to get lapped.
Yeah, I think he's already a lap down, isn't he?
Right, there you go. Still continuing, still racing.
Yeah, Sam on the back of Shane now. And a little bit of a gap from second to third. Powell not letting Matt run away with this. Continuing the pressure. And I think he's got it done. He certainly looks like it.
Oh, yes.
Needs to defend. There you go.
That
So
was
it's
perfect.
very, very easy to let the car you've just gone past get back up on the undercut there, but he did well.
You have to get the braking just right, don't you? If you don't, he's
Yeah.
by you. And it's not like there's an awful lot of time.
No, Sam Blees got past Shane as well. No, he didn't. Sorry, I'm telling porkies. I'm seeing things that are not there, like I do every day. Listening to the voices in my head.
Well, I hope they sing sweetly.
So Simon Trendle back with Chris Needham, and it's a clean pass this time. Russell Cowell getting well out of the way, and letting these TCR leaders come past. Even Walker not managing to get back onto the rear bumper of Stefan Goebel yet, which is interesting. Although Stefan did look like he had some very decent pace round here today, so which shouldn't really be a surprise. I know we're not in Germany, but he's a very, very decent driver.
Yeah, he's been getting good results the last few weeks, whether we're in Germany or not. It's been quick, so it doesn't surprise me to see him putting pressure on.
Yeah, these four back together now. .5 minutes in.
I'm just wondering if Stephen's got his tactic head on now then.
Well, I can't see any of these TCRs doing anything different. I think they will possibly run long. I'm hoping at least one of them proves me wrong. I think in GT4 Simon Trendle may do something different depending on... Perhaps he won't actually. He's going to probably make short work of Jason Haddington, and then he's got a nice clear track till he gets back to teammate Jamie Wilson. So he may not even think about pitting until he's back behind some traffic.
These first four cars here, there's never going to be no splitting them for the entire race. But it only takes one mistake, doesn't it? when everybody's so close as this. And,
does. And you know, the pit tactics are always fascinating in this series. And we've seen Sam Blees on numerous occasions pull a rabbit out of the hat with the pit stops. So I don't think he will be too phased sitting in fourth place whilst he can see the leader not too far in front. We know Hugo at the front of the GT4s has had some issues with over-fueling in pit stops, so don't know whether he's managed to get that sorted out yet.
He's got good pace, hasn't he?
A lot of the drivers have been in this series for many seasons, so they know all about the pit stops and what to do and what tyres to take and that sort of thing, whereas in this series anyway, Hugo is very new.
He's Stefan and Stephen aren't making any inroads into his lead at the moment. He's comfortably in front.
Yeah.
And doesn't seem to be making the little mistakes that we saw last week or the week before, the little wheels on the grass and stuff. We don't seem to be seeing those. Ooh, crikey.
So Matt Elmore not really putting any pressure on Carl Hardy at the moment. That could be that he can't get close enough to him, or it could be that he's just happy sat there, maybe saving a bit of fuel, making his pit stop shorter.
I'm absolutely sure that if Matt wanted to, he could be harassing Carl considerably more than he is at the moment.
Yeah, he keeps having a little duck out and, you know, just a reminder, you know, I'm still here, but I don't
more like the pace of the track, isn't it? It brings him close occasionally. And
yeah, I don't think he's been quite close enough for a firm move yet.
I'm with you. I don't think he feels any particular urge to do it any more than any of the others do. Like Sam, I don't think feels any particular. Followed the wrong car.
He's certainly not liking that section.
Crikey. He survived. Why was it that wall? I was asking why to miss it.
Well, we've seen 2 mistakes from Sam Blees tonight, which is probably 2 more than I've seen all season.
Yeah, it's quite. I can't remember seeing Sam make many mistakes at all in the whole season with you. I can't think of any particularly. He's normally exemplary. So I wonder what it is tonight.
Well, Simon Trendle has got some nice clear track in front of him now. 6 seconds up the road to Jason Haddington.
I've always got for Jamie. I've got another, what is that, another 11 seconds to Jamie?
Yeah, it's a long way.
90 seconds is getting on to be quite a lot to catch up.
Yeah, Simon's going to be praying that Stefan can stay in front of Stephen, which looks fairly okay at the moment. Again, that gap hasn't really changed.
No, it's been steady, hasn't it? He has. That's why I thought Stephen might have just put his strategy ahead on, because he's not making the time. He seems to be happy around this 2-second mark, doesn't he? Doesn't seem to be doing much. Of course, I've said that he'll go and instantly overtake him.
Well, Jamie Wilson doesn't seem to be able to shake Jason Haddington either, which is another interesting little battle that's brewing.
Jason's done a 26.2 there. He's just really good lapping. And he's, you know.
And Simon Trendle pumps in a 25.3.
Wow. But that's Simon, isn't it? He's got real quality. But I think if I was a second to lap off Simon, I'd be fairly happy with myself. I would. If I can get within a couple of seconds of the quicker guys in my league, I'm pretty delighted.
Well, you need to buy the landmine patch, Alan.
I can see occasions when it would be useful.
Yeah, you can just shift cars out of the way whenever you need to then.
Oh, it'd be coming very handy when I'm reverse gridded and they put me at the front of all these stomping monsters that are breathing steam. And there's me, poor little me in the front, terrified. Get a bag of hand grenades, you put ideas in my head.
Just keeping an eye on Sam Belize at the moment, see if he can draw that 3 seconds back again from his last mistake. We're rolling up towards the halfway stage.
Delighted to see Jason keeping up with keeping the pace and staying in close contention. This is great driving by him.
Yeah,
no spinning, no. And this is a track where you can. There's plenty of opportunities for spinning here if he's inclined.
Yeah, don't want to jinx him too much.
Don't think he will. He's full of confidence. See, these drivers know this track. Look at this, perfect lines and very few errors. But if you do make an error when you're in close contact, of course, it's going to cost you.
Yeah, it is one of those tracks. I know you do it on every track, but this one, there's a few tracks in the world that you are like really using every inch of the track, and this is one of those that if you use an extra half an inch, you are either disappearing into a wall or best case scenario, you're taking a long trip across a field, and it's going to take you a while to get back on the track. Yes,
and everybody's aware of that hairpin and how important it is that you get a good exit from there, carry the speed all the way through, because it's still that exit from that is carried all the way through to the chicane at the foot of the hill. And if you there's a lot of pressure on you to get it right. I was doing tremendously well, but I can't help thinking that Matt is just enjoying the drive.
Yeah, it's just the way that this track can bite you when you least expect it. I can remember a V8 race many years ago where I think I was solidly inside the top 10. I think it was probably the day that I fell in love with this track, and you know, you're driving along, you think to yourself, do you know what, this track isn't as bad as I thought it was. Bang, dead. And that was it. Game over.
Yeah.
Just one lapse in concentration. That's all it took.
Yes, it doesn't take much. It's when you've done the corners a couple of times, you get confident, don't you? You think, oh crikey, I've actually got this right. I've finally learnt it. I know what I'm doing here. And then you find very swiftly that you actually haven't learnt it the way you thought you had, because it just takes that smallest error. And I love that curly bit with the short braking and the hairpin. It's you've got to get both elements right, and it's an attacking place. People are often trying to terrify me going into the hairpin, coming up at the side of me. And And then, you know, they get a really good exit from it and they just drive away from you. And you're both in the same car, but it's just that fractional bit of glass going through. Hello.
Yeah, Jason Haddington has pitted. Hugo and Stefan are both pitting now. Stephen Walker has stayed out.
So early pits.
Jamie Wilson is in the pits. Well, it's halfway, which isn't a bad call in the GT4 field. Simon Trendle comes in as well. Maybe thought Simon was going to go a little bit longer, but he's obviously been full pelt, not being able to save any because he's been chasing.
Stefan was making no time on Hugo, who was actually losing time to Hugo still. So this is very comfortable position for him. No, don't.
Sorry, I'm watching Jason Haddington come out the pits. He's obviously on cold tyres. Got in the middle of Sam Blease and Russell Cowell. It just looked a bit sketchy for a minute, but they've sorted themselves out. Team Chimera boys have come out. Jamie Wilson in front of the TCR leaders, Simon Trendle behind. But Simon Trendle has made up at least looks like 6 or 7 seconds over Jamie Wilson on that pit stop.
It was well, oh, crikey. Oh, it's still got 17 seconds.
Okay, Shane Powell, Sam Blease, Matt Flannery all pitted in the TCRs.
Stevens come in as well, so I would have thought maybe he would try to have maybe eked a couple of extra laps out while he had a bit of cleaning in front of him.
Maybe that was the end of their fuel.
Yes.
So Simon Trendle has now cleared the TCR leaders, and he's still got teammate Jamie Wilson firmly in his sights. As Carl Hardy and Matt Elmore pit together. That was unexpected. I would have thought Matt may have done whatever Carl didn't. But we'll wait and see whether Matt managed to save some fuel behind Carl. Maybe that'll get him out in front.
Paul's not always the best with his pit stops, but Matt probably is slightly better, more canny with the pit stops, but there was nothing in it before, so we'll see how that turns out.
So Stephen Walker came back out in third as expected. He's 5 seconds now behind Stefan. That was under 3.
And Stefan's now getting on for 8 seconds from Hugo, and that's gone up again. He's lost a bit of time there. Crikey.
Simon Trendle up to 4th, past teammate Jamie Wilson. So he's a long way behind Stephen Walker on track, but only 1 position.
Well, this is pedal to the metal for Simon now. He's got Stephen with a decent lead, but Simon's free to push on as hard as he can. He's refueled. I don't know if he took tyres or a tyre or anything, but well,
I'm going to guess that he didn't, but we shall see.
Yeah, that would be my assumption that he wouldn't, because he was fairly swiftly in and out, wasn't he?
Just on the time that he made up on Jamie Wilson.
Yeah. Because there was still a fearsome gap when they went into the pits, so
Yeah.
he must have done something.
I think Simon's very good at managing fuel as well, so you know, he knows how much he can push, where he's got to save. And
12 seconds. Let's see how quickly he can gather 12 seconds up.
what
And
happened
we'll have a good battle at the end.
What happened to Matt Elmore? He's down in third. Carl Hardy has a 2-second lead now.
I didn't think Shane was close enough to do that.
Wow.
I didn't see it as a perhaps go.
Unless Matt has done something different and taken more tyres, or some tyres, or they're just something different.
A wheel on the grass.
But Carl Hardy is going to be rubbing his hands together at the moment.
Yes, 2.5 seconds.
Hoping none of the food stalls fire up.
Oh, this is getting a bit tense for me now. My captain's in front, and it's not much of a gap, but it's a gap. And I'm not used to seeing Carl in front with a little bit of a gap. It's really very, very pleasing to me.
Well, he would certainly rather have 2.5 seconds than 0.25 of a second. So
absolutely.
And if Matt Elmore and Shane Powell start battling, that gap is only stretch.
Exactly. And will they be able to resist?
No.
If they work together, they could gather him in short order, you know.
Not a hope in hell.
So, yes. I'm inclined to think they're going to be going at it, so that's good news for Carl.
Well, they can see him, which is a carrot.
Yes.
But can they sort themselves out quickly? Did Matt get that slowed down then? I think he did, yes.
They're pushing on. It's not like they've given up.
3.2 seconds to Carl Hardy. Let's see if Matt Elmore can do anything.
While he's doing this, and this, the gap's going to grow. While Shane is threatening Matt all the time, and Matt's having to position his car, as you can see he's doing, he's making sure nobody's coming past him. Yeah, he's driving fast and on the line, but he's making sure that he's not going to give anything away at the moment.
Matt Elmore's very strong through the S's.
That was perfect, wasn't it? Every single apex, comfortably. Right, I wonder what it's like to do that one day, Alan.
Is that all the apexes or just one?
One would be a start. I can normally do one. It's the rest of them. So I'm getting better. I've been told that I'm getting better. My aim's improving.
Matt Elmore's really got to get his head down now, not worry about what's going on behind him.
He is worried about what's going on behind him, isn't he?
I think he's got the beating of Shane if he just drives his own race rather than looking in his mirror.
Yes. My inclination is always to look ahead and be chasing the man in front rather than worrying about the man behind too much. It's always a mistake to drive with one eye in the rearview mirror, I think. It's not something I do.
Very difficult when it's two evenly matched drivers, isn't it? I would hope that these two are maybe talking to each other and Shane is saying, look, you just go, I'll follow you, I'm not going to make any daft moves, let's see if we can chase Carl Hardy down. There's 20 minutes left, so there's plenty of time to do it, but you just never know.
Well, likely Carl's offering them a 20 to stay where you are.
Yeah. They're going to have GT4 leader Hugo Rouet coming past them soon.
There's no stopping Hugo tonight. He's got 9 seconds now. As far as we can tell, he's driving a flawless race. I haven't seen him having any incidents. He's not been getting on the grass like he has. He's certainly, I think he's been practicing. And it's what he needed.
Stefan is being closed down by Stephen Walker gradually. That was about 5 seconds after the pit stops. It's just over 3 now. So none of this is over yet.
No.
Do not switch off your sets, folks.
Well, Stephen's pulling the time back. That doesn't surprise me. Stefan will be fighting, but how's Simon doing with his gap? That doesn't seem to be coming down terribly quickly, does it?
13.2 seconds at the moment.
I think that's time. I'm not sure that he can pull that back in the time we've got, because the lap times must be fairly within the second.
Yeah, I can't disagree with you there. I think Simon is just hoping that Stephen doesn't close down Stefan. There's far too many S's there. Like I say, he may be a long way behind on track, but he's only 1 position behind, so he's limiting the damage in the championship. If Stephen manages to get past Stefan, then there's a little bit more damage.
Yeah, that's probably it would be smart of Simon to keep hold of what he's got and make sure he finishes in 4th, because his points would be okay with that. I think he's got sufficient to actually do that.
Again, I agree. I think he's still got to drive quickly, because it only takes 1 mistake from them front 3, and he could be back with one of them and the chance of a podium finish. But he doesn't want to go too mad and throw it all away and end up 7th.
No. Well, he will know that. He's a smart cookie, so we'll have to watch that time and see how he does. But I'm very impressed with Hugo tonight. This is a far better performance for him. He's led from the off, and he's slowly built up his lead with consistent good lapping. Well done to him. And of course, Stefan is having a really good race, 2nd place, good position on the podium. Can he hold on? Can he hold Stephen off well?
Yeah, again, Stephen's got the carrot of seeing Stefan in front of him, which always tends to make you go, or seem to go a little bit quicker, doesn't it? If the car you're chasing down you can't see, it can be a forlorn task, but at least when you can see them, you've got something to aim for, not literally. Unless it's wobbly kneecaps in front of you, obviously. And then it's worth a tenner from Pete, so it's worth going for.
Holster going to his 3.5 second, but he's not going any bigger, which is a bit concerning, because it wouldn't take him very long to get back 3.5 seconds.
I think these two have sorted themselves out, haven't they?
Yes, I think they've. He's just let the gap grow a little bit so that Matt's not having to defend every corner. A smart move, but not good from Cole's point of view. But 3.7 seconds, he's doing really, really well. And pushing wood here and feeling lucky. But these minutes are long minutes.
Yeah, and 45 of them have almost passed, so 15 minutes to go.
That was what happened there? Not very swift. He got his entry to the
Yeah,
chicane
he lost a lot of
pace
time
there.
there, didn't he?
It's almost brought him into JB.
Stefan
Matt
obviously
Banner
making
is
his
49 seconds, goodness me. So.
Yeah, Stefan Goebel making his way through the TCR traffic at the moment, desperately trying not to lose time, although he has. That gap's now down to 2.5 seconds.
It shouldn't be a bad track for moving through the field. It's not terribly close quarters, and
Just
there's time for
depends
people to be
where
ready.
you catch them, doesn't it? You
Yes.
catch them on a straight, you don't lose any time at all. Catch them in the S's, and all you can do is sit back and be patient.
Yes, and it's going to be a substantial, because you got to drive through there, then you got to get past them. It does involve a couple of seconds at least. Your luck, mind you. Perhaps it's not. Perhaps the clever driver is thinking of that 3 laps ahead and got it all worked out. I certainly don't do that.
Got past Andrew Littler. Shane Powell, I think, in front of him now.
So that looks like Andy's only dropped about a minute on the field. Is that about right? How much has he dropped on the field?
Chris Needham putting another move on Jamie Wilson.
So he's making a regular habit of this. Didn't he do that last week as well?
He did it earlier on in the race. That's the second time he's passed Jamie this evening.
He's going to get very familiar with it. I don't think Jamie's happy with it by the looks of that. He's going to have a cling on, I think.
Watching this,
I wouldn't expect
the GT4s coming through the TCRs. Neither of Stefan or Stephen seem to be losing much time, so they're catching them at the right places on the track.
Hugo's got 10 seconds on Stefan now.
I think Stefan is particularly worried about Hugo anymore. He's more worried about the chase from behind.
Oh, he's got to be driving as fast as he can. He can see the threat very clearly. So he's making the best pace he can. He won't be holding anything back at this stage. I don't see Chris being able to drop Jamie. I don't. I wouldn't think there was enough difference in time between them that he would be able to get away and break the toe.
Extending that lead now. He may lose some of it with the GT4s coming through, but he's got some time in hand. He can afford to just let them get through safely.
Oh goodness. Perhaps Carl's inspired by his fantastic new kit car, which he's been hurtling around the lanes in. I've been inspired by it. Have you seen it?
Yeah, well, I've seen pictures. I haven't seen it up close and
My
personal
goodness.
yet.
It's all engine. It's about 3 yards of engine with a little seat stuck on the back somewhere. A beast. Oh, 5.5 seconds now. This is most satisfactory. We've got the field surrounded. We've got Andy at the back and we've got Carl at the front.
Serves right. I don't think Carl's had a win yet this season, has he?
Not as I can remember. I think I probably would if he had. We've had a podium, haven't we?
Yes. In fact, yeah, he's had a couple of podiums, a pole position, but he's still 0 in the win column. Stephen Walker just almost got it down to 2 seconds to Stefan. Stefan can see Stephen get bigger in his mirror.
Yes, it's not an easy track to defend on. It isn't. So if he actually gets to him and gets in his toe, you would think that with the grunt of that Mercedes, it would actually be able to negotiate a pass.
Yeah, that's where Stefan has got to go full concentration on exits.
Ooh, that was close.
Yeah, Jamie Wilson wants this place back. I think he's going to get it here.
Good racing. Well done, lads. That's really lovely. These are going at it. It's really good to see. It's nice that Jamie's having somebody to race with. So chasing all the time. They've certainly got their hackles up and they'll be going at it. Lovely.
Six seconds now. Carl Hardy's lead. He's pulling away.
They pull that so close to that wall. It would just take the slightest fraction for them to go into it, and that would be the end of it, wouldn't it? It's a hairy business going through there.
Yeah, that would be race ending, I think. Oh, Stephen Walker just made a slight mistake. Let's push that gap out to 2.7, 2.8 seconds now.
Pace those cars, they're going fast. Hard braking now into this big left-hander. You've got to get it right, otherwise this goes wrong. You can't see anything over that crest, so you have to guess the line to come down to here, and it's downhill, and you want to be flat out, and then you've got another. This corner is so hard to get it right, and if you get it wrong, it's a disaster. So you don't want to be wide. You've got to get it, collect it, and bring it round. And not over brake. You've got to let the momentum carry you. You can lose all your pace through there if you're not careful. But it's scary because you can't see over the crest. It is very exciting driving through there.
To stay on board with Chris, it was interesting what you said about the crest that leads you under the bridge. I think they're coming up to now. Obviously, the ideal position for your car is as far left as you can possibly get it to give you a better turn in for the final turn. But as Alan rightly said, it's just after the chicane here. It's totally blind. And again, another mistake that I've made is I know where the left-hand side of the track is. Oh no, that's the grass, just there.
Yeah. It's a very distinct change. You're going uphill and you can't see, then you're going sharply downhill and you can see, and you have to make a quick adjustment to get your line right.
Yeah, and we are back here on Sunday as well in GT3 action.
Oh, well, that'd be great. Yeah,
it's going to be interesting. A bit more power in the cars. We're inside the final 5.
This is a great circuit in the GT4. I've done a couple of endurance races here in the GT. Very nice, very enjoyable races. Snail Racing used to do a community race here. Ronnie.
Stephen Walker, a second now behind Stefan Goebel. This is on in the last 3 minutes.
Jamie getting by.
He's going all the way to the end, Jamie and Chris. They're just swapping positions, and a bit of paint there as well.
Oh, Jamie, get it back, get it back.
Ooh. It's not going to go all the way to the end, not anymore.
But it just shows you, you're right in the thick of things, you know, adrenaline's running, you're right at a pitch, and look at this.
Yeah, that was 50-50 for me.
I don't think there was any stopping the car going sideways at that point for either of them. Yeah. Visits to the grass, all change.
Sam Blease, as we can see, has caught up to Shane Powell, who I think has made a mistake somewhere. Leader, I think, will be taking the white flag this time round.
Very, very exciting. Thrilled for Carl at the moment. I didn't watch, honestly.
Yeah, I think Carl has taken his foot off the gas a little bit, but he's got 5.5 seconds still to play with, so he's just making sure he gets that car home safely. However, Stephen Walker is right in the tyre tracks of Stefan Goebel. Our leader takes the white flag.
Simon didn't make any of that time back, did he?
Well, leader just made a little mistake in the S's.
Oh!
Oh, Jamie Wilson says, thank you very much. Not quite sure what happened there, but it looked like a car was trying to turn in. There was a car already there. So, Chris Needham. Looks like Sam Belize. Yeah. Again, that was another one. Sam overeager. Was Chris a little bit unsure where other cars were? Anyway, our leader is about to take the checkered flag. And a win for Hugo Rouet in GT4.
Brilliant result and a brilliant pronunciation.
Oh, Stefan is out. What happened to Stefan?
Oh, no.
Did he run out of fuel?
Not on the last lap, surely. Oh.
Oh! Oh, that was such a shame for Stefan. That's dropped
Cole taking the flag.
all the way to the back.
Yes!
No favouritism, Alan, remember.
Right, okay. Yeah!
Oh, that was such a shame for Stefan.
That was terrible for Stefan. He'd done such a fine drive to have it snatched away. Oh. And that was that Leary corner we were talking about.
Yeah, just got it slightly wrong, didn't he? So.
Oh, is that? Oh!
Yeah. Yeah, he threw that in from a long way back, didn't he?
Yeah, that's a Gran Turismo move.
Yeah.
That, using the other cars to turn in. He did make the move on Tham though, so you know, it works.
Yeah.
Wow, what a race. Fantastic drive by Hugo. Brilliant performance and a great drive by Carl. Two different winners.
Yeah, so let's bring you your official results. So a win in GT4 for Hugo Rouet. Second, Stephen Walker for Spectre 6. Third, promoted Simon Trendle for Team Chimera. Fourth, Jamie Wilson, Team Chimera. Fifth was Chris Needham, RWC Racing Red. Sixth was Jason Haddington, RWC Racing Blue. And seventh, with that mistake on the final lap, Stefan Goebel for VTS Esports. Into TCR and a victory for Kyle Hardy, safeguard by result. Matt Elmore was second, Spectre 6 TCR. Shane Powell in third, Spectre 6 Solo. And then the two Alpine Stars Geodesic Racing Black cars, Sam Blees fourth, Matt Flannery in fifth. JB Desu for LMT Racing in sixth, Russell Cowell seventh for Spectre 6 TCR after we see him hit a landmine. And last but not least, in eighth place, Andrew Littler for Spyro by result. Right, so let's see. Oh, nobody wants to talk to us yet, Alan. That's good. Let's.
Well, we can talk. We've got.
Let's hope that carries on, and nobody wants to talk to us, and we can all go to bed early. Obviously, not together.
I'm inspired. I think I might take the car out.
It's a good job, actually, because I've just got hiccups. Let me get a drink.
Well, what a... I'm thrilled for Carl. He'll be getting drunk now. I expect he'll be starting on the first burger of the after-race orgy.
Interestingly, Marco Namela, because he doesn't know what day it is, wanted to race in this, but couldn't. So he ghost raced it, and he's just put on the chat that he couldn't get away from Hugo. So Marco could be a very interesting addition to this series, actually.
Goodness. Well, he would be. He'd be a great addition to any series, I think, Marco. He's a fantastic driver, isn't he?
Yeah, apart from a series where you have to have a memory, he wouldn't be a very good addition to that. So we've got a couple of drivers in the waiting room. So I'll tell you what, let's start these interviews off and let's bring in our second place GT4 driver, Stephen Walker. That was a bit of a strange ending to a race, wasn't it?
Yeah, it wasn't a very good race, let's face it. I'd like to firstly apologise to Simon for the start of the race. Russ was going off in my ear about what happened to him, and it just put me off ever so slightly. I tried to not put him around, and I would have addressed it if I wasn't sat in the middle of the road with like 6-7 cars about to come through, so I do apologise to him for that. But overall, he finished third. I got more incident points, he got fastest lap, and it doesn't make much difference to the championship.
Yeah, but we was watching that battle with you and Stefan there. As you came out of the pits, I think he was about 5 seconds behind. I looked up, you'd got it down to under 3. Then I started keeping a bit of a keener eye on it, and you got it down to 1 second. And then all of a sudden, I don't think we saw it live, but Stefan was in the pits, and we're like, what's going on here? Has he run out of fuel? But it looked like it was just the pressure from you. He did his probable one and only mistake of the race right when it mattered on the last lap.
Yeah, he did, to be fair. He did brake earlier than I expected for the corner just before the left-hander to go back up the hill. I did get a 0 times, but I watched the replay and he went round the corner on a normal line. It just bounced, I think, and that put it in. Obviously, he lost control. It's easily done. I did it so many times in practice. I did it twice in the race. I just managed to keep it out of the wall. So yeah, to be honest, I was gonna save it for the last couple of corners. I wasn't trying to make a move. I was just trying to stay as close as possible. If he feels like it was a nudge for me that put him in the wall, then fine. Like I said, I've looked back on it. Yeah, there was a 0 times, but I don't think he went round the corner. The car was settled. It wasn't like round the corner the car was out of control. It was when it was on the straight.
Yeah, and to be honest, from what we saw of it, it didn't look like it was contact that caused it. But interesting, you say that he was slower than you expected going into that corner. That's not a bad tactic, though, is it? When you're being chased down to have a go at, shall we say, parking your car on the apex and then trying to get a better exit than the car that's chasing you, especially when it's got the grunt of the Merc.
Yeah, I mean, in a slower corner, that's great, but yeah, not through quite a fast corner. That.
No, I've done it on fast corners. It's great.
I struggled all through that race. You could definitely tell. I had to save an absolute bucket ton of fuel. I couldn't do it flat out on one stop, unlike the Porsches. I had to say it wasn't until everything had settled down and I had about 16 laps of fuel left. And I was like, I'm not going to make it to the halfway mark, so I had to save loads of fuel. Luckily, then at least in the second half, I could go flat out, and I changed the left side tyres, which I think helped towards the end. I think that's the only reason why I really caught Stefan. I guess the traffic helped a little bit, but I was still making mistakes. So all in all, no, I'm not happy with that race. I think Simon would have been able to stay with Hugo and give him a proper challenge. So I feel really bad for that, but it was just the fuel that hindered me in the first half of the race. There's nothing I could do. It's a whole group of Porsches apart from me and I think Jason.
And next week, Fuji. Done any laps around there yet?
Not since, I don't think, Gran Turismo 3 or 4. So no, not really. I've got the track. I'll have to crack on and do some practice. We've got the GT3 on Sunday, so hopefully that'll go better than this, because I'll be honest, I'm not happy.
Well, you've had some practice around here now, but ultimately the scorecard is going to show a decent result for you with a second place. So any shout outs you want to give before we let you go?
Yeah, obviously you guys, the rest of my team. I think they all had good races apart from Russ that went flying. my brother for watching, and again, just Simon, just really sorry, mate.
Mate,
Ruins
it's
the race.
but watch Russ. It's comedy gold.
Yeah, it was. I went to go and
It's
watch
the
it, but it was too
old-fashioned
early in my
landmine.
replay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's class.
that happened to
Not
me in the
seen one
Audi
of
a
them
while
for a
ago.
while.
No, I thought they fixed it, so I get him to send it.
Okie dokie. Well, I still think it was a great result for yourself. So congratulations on that second place, and we'll see you next time out, Stephen Walker.
Cheers, guys. Thank
Well
you.
done.
Okay, so next up, nearly grabbed hold of the wrong person. You're having this one, Alan. It's your team captain and TCR winner, Carl Hardy. Welcome to the booth.
Yeah.
Good evening.
Yes. Good evening, Carl.
Good evening.
Now I've got my completely impartial commentator's head on. So congratulations on winning the race, mate. Real for you. What a drive.
That was
Tell me all about it. Oh.
Russ. Through practice, Russ and Matt were on it. And I said to him last night, it was going to be just the toe, keeping me with you, and I'd just go with that. That would be fine. Apparently, Shane the other night was on pace as well, so we knew we were aiming for a good race. But poor Russ hit that landmine, and then that was so scary. Jesus Christ!
Seeing nothing like it. It just went off like a bomb.
Yeah, and then then the pit stops, and I come out with a 2.5 second lead. That was happy days.
I couldn't believe how well you did in the pits. I thought, oh, crikey, this is where Matt's going to get in front, Matt's going to do one of his clever things or something, and,
Well, I only had one pie, so that was all right.
Or one pie stop.
Yeah, I just had one pie, not the two, so it's fine. That's what gave me the advantage.
Well, it's a fantastic drive.
Oh, honestly, that was I knew I was in for a race, but then when I come out with that lead, I knew that they'd find it tough to catch because, it was just the toe what was keeping us all together. With 2.5 seconds, I knew all I had to do was just do the line and just get it done.
Yeah.
And I was shocked that I was pulling away.
They started to have a little bit of fun between them. I think they started just Matt was starting to defend his line a little bit, and that slowed them down slightly. And eventually they got it sorted out, but by then you got your gap, and you didn't make any mistakes. You didn't make any mistakes. You just
don't sound so shocked. I did end the race on 11x. It was about 20 minutes to go. I was on 11x, so I had to calm down a little bit.
Well, I was absolutely thrilled to see you in the front and sustaining a lead, and it was brilliant driving. And
but it started off on pole as well. Where the bloody hell did that come from?
I know. You got pole, and now you've won the race. It doesn't get any better than that for us, Carl. I'm thrilled for you. Absolutely thrilled.
Yeah, no, it was good. I said it 5 minutes to go. I said Alan's going to be doing kittens right now.
I was.
Yeah, and also Andy, he obviously doesn't get a lot of time in the car, so he started in the 33s tonight, and he got down to the 29. So
yeah, great. That's really good laps, and we had them surrounded. We had them a man at the front and a man at the rear. We had them completely surrounded tonight.
Yeah, we ganged up on them.
Brilliant
everywhere. Yeah, no, it was wicked, and the lads make the racing at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But I will say though, Matt's win didn't really count because we weren't in the race. This one does count because everybody was in the race.
We'll see what Matt says about that.
Well, yeah, it'll be interesting.
Have you got any shout outs or anything you want to give? I want to ask you about next week.
I don't know where we are.
Fuji, I think. Is it Fuji?
It's
Fuji. Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know if I might be there, but I'm going to Spa next weekend. So.
Yes, of course. It's your trip to Spa, isn't it?
Yeah, to watch the F1. So, yeah, we'll see. I might just hang around and do the race and then. But yeah, I've never been on the track. Obviously, it's brand new. I've brought it, but I've never done a lap. So yeah, I need to do some laps if I am going to.
Oh, well.
But we've also got Le Mans at the weekend, so.
Yes, it's a busy old time, isn't it?
Yeah. So yeah, practice for that tomorrow night.
Yes. Well, I should be there. So, any shout outs or anything you want to give?
Obviously, you guys commentating, running the league, brilliant job. Sam on the cameras, we won't forget about him. All the drivers, GT4 drivers, I mean, they've got to have patience with us. I know sometimes they don't, but tonight they were absolutely brilliant. They just caught me at the right time as well. I was always on the straight. So, yeah, well done to all the drivers. And obviously Andy Littler for being my teammate. Bless him.
Yeah. Nice one. A nice one. Well done, matey. I'm really made up for you. It's brilliant to see you winning a race. You put the time in. You're an essential, vital part of this whole league, and I'm really lovely to see you win a race. Well done. You deserve it.
Cheers, Al. Thank you.
Good night, my dear.
Yeah, take care.
Excellent. Right, so now let's bring in our second place TCR driver, Matt Elmore. Welcome to the booth.
Good evening.
That Hardy fella, he had some pace tonight, didn't he?
Well, I want to call him up to scrutineering and to get my car checked because he's added a load of pies in the boot to slow me down.
Worse than that, he's just called you out in the interview and said your win didn't count because he wasn't there. And he's come out as top dog with everybody there. So, have you got any comeback to that?
Is this PG?
No, we're past the watershed.
This is it's on the back of what I've been saying since I have my win. I want to win when Sam and Carl, well, everyone are on the track basically. And obviously, yeah, the knob's just done it.
We had some weird things tonight, didn't we? We had Russell's landmine.
I have got to admit, I have never jumped so much in a race. I thought that's it. I thought we were over. However, I did think he was going to reappear in front of us. But obviously, yeah, I feel a bit sorry for Russ because he had genuine pace tonight.
Yeah, and a fairly decent battle with you and Shane as well.
Yeah, I've got to give kudos to Shane. We spoke about it when we were going up the straight, and he said, "Look, if you're quicker, just go past." I said, "Look, I'll try and chase him down." And I was going to slow down, so he had my toe, so try and bring him away from Sam. But he made the call and said, "Look, Sam's just too close," because I knew I wasn't catching Carl unless he made a mistake. Look, so yeah, so I've got to say thanks to Shane for that.
Yeah, well, it looked at one point that you two were just going to battle each other hard, and Carl was going to run away. Then it looked like you'd sorted yourselves out, and you was going to have a good go at chasing Carl down. But ultimately, he ended up pulling away. Fuji next week. Most people that we're speaking to are saying they haven't really done a lap round there. Have you done anything there yet?
Haven't got it, mate.
Excellent.
Yeah,
so,
I haven't got it.
Hand in pocket time then.
Maybe we'll see.
Okie dokie. Well, look, we've still got loads of people who want an interview. So, before we let you go, any shout outs you want to give?
Yeah, like I say, thanks to Shane. He played a blind on the team going tonight. Got to say congratulations to Carl. I will be checking my boot for the extra weight ballast he's put in. And unlucky for us, genuinely, I think he had a chance of winning this tonight.
Yeah, it was comedy for us, but heartbreaking for Russ.
And hopefully I've closed this gap for Sam a little bit in the title race now as well. So
we'll find out tomorrow. Anyway, always a pleasure to talk to you. Congratulations on that second place, Matt Elmore.
Well done, Matt.
Cheers.
Okay, so we do have another podium finisher. let's bring in our third place TCR driver, Shane Powell. Welcome to the booth. Shane Powell, welcome to Earth.
Hello.
Hello. There he is. He's
Sorry,
awake.
my mic quite picking up.
Fascinating race. First of all, pretty much the same questions that we had for Matt there. Carl Hardy had some serious pace tonight, didn't he?
Yes, they all did. To be fair, everyone was pretty quick tonight.
But I said to Matt, it's when Carl got was it 2.5 seconds, something like that, after the pit stop. We saw yourself and Matt battling, and we thought, "Ooh, that's going to help Carl out." And then you guys seemed to sort yourselves out, and it was like you'd had a chat and gone, "Right, let's chase him down. Let's get back into it. Then we'll start fighting." But then Carl kept going away from you.
Yeah, Carl was he was just too quick tonight. So I didn't want to give Matt too much of a hard time, so I let him by in the hopes that I could just follow him. And then I dropped back from Matt because of the GT4s coming through. They were just catching me at points where it was holding me up a little bit, so I lost Matt's toe, and then just kept dropping further behind really.
And then there was a bit of a kerfuffle at the chicane.
Yeah, which was completely my fault. I have apologised to Chris.
I think that was called a Gran Turismo move at the time.
Well, he went by, and once he'd gone, I was like, "Oh right, I won't see him again." So I was focused on Sam next to me. And then ended up braking too late for the corner ahead. Hit him. Couldn't do much about, to correct it after hitting him. But Sam got caught up in it as well, so I let off on the start straight to let him go in front. And I was like, right, I'll give you the spot back, but if I can have a go back, I will. And just managed to pip him before the line.
Excellent. Well, apart from all that, a third place finish is not to be scoffed at. So any shout outs you want to give before we let you go?
My teammates, to Russ especially, after he found that curb, which he seems to like finding at various different tracks. Shout out to Chris as well. I say I cost him a position or two at the end of the race, so I'm really sorry about that. But as I say, once the incident had happened, there's not a lot I could do to correct it. He's not in the same class as me, so it's not like I can give him the spot back. But yeah.
Yeah, well, as I say, mate, shit happens. And we know in this league that we don't get malicious moves, so I'm sure Chris will forgive you. He's that kind of guy anyway. So Fuji next week.
Should be interesting.
Done any laps yet?
Don't own the track.
Excellent. There's another one. All this money we're making for iRacing next week, I think we should be in for a bit of a bonus, Alan.
No, very good idea.
Well, Shane, so the scorecard is going to show that you finished on the podium. So congratulations for that, and we'll see you next time out.
Cheers.
Well done, Shane.
Cheers.
Okay, everybody seems to be disappearing, so let's bring in Mr. Sam Blees. Welcome to the booth.
Hello.
Hello. So, a fourth place finish, and it was a bit of a weird race for you. I think I said at one point in the broadcast you'd made 2 mistakes in this race, and that was 2 more than I'd seen all season.
Well, I mean, you probably weren't watching. Can't have been watching last week because
I had no electricity last week.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think last week I was just continuing the trend of last week, just making way too many mistakes. Last week I should have won, and I didn't. This week I didn't have the pace to win. Carl was quicker than I had the pace probably to be around where Matt was. if I hadn't made 2 or 3 mistakes. But yeah, Carl, I took tyres and he didn't. He was still quicker than me at the end by 2 or 3 tenths of a lap. So yeah, it was just messy. I just didn't have the pace today either. So I was pushing too hard, and that's where the mistakes came from, I think.
Well, I'm going to make this sound as dramatic as possible, even though it isn't. But what's causing the Sam Blee's demise? Are you suffering from a lack of practice? Are the other guys getting quicker? Is it all of the above?
Yeah, it's all of the above. I've been busy the last few weeks, so I haven't really. I had COVID, so I haven't done a lot of practice. I've really only in the sim now for the Wednesday nights and maybe half an hour or an hour on one of the nights with the guys beforehand for the last couple of weeks. So I need to get back and spend a bit more time in it. I think because I'm just you just get out of practice a bit and you just get a bit rusty, and I think that's all it is. But certainly Carl and Matt and Russ are really stepping up their game, and they're, even if I was as on it as I was at the start of like the season, at the end of last season, they're way closer and on parity now, really, in a lot of cases, in a lot of tracks, with the pace I can do. So yeah, it's both of those things really. It's the field closing up, and I'm shite at the moment, but I'll come back.
Well, to be fair, that's good for the league. So it does get a bit boring if the same person wins all the time.
Yes.
Right. Burning question: do you own Fuji?
Yeah, I bought it.
Hey, first one.
I've done about 5 laps, but they were in a GT4. I like it, or I used to like it, in Gran Turismo 4. So what does that date it? That's about 10 years ago, maybe?
Yeah, that was about my last time I used it.
Yeah.
There as well, yeah. Great place, though.
Yeah, I have fond memories of it.
It's very similar. You'll find that the track layout is slightly... I think they got most of it right. You'll enjoy the main straight and the
final sector's changed, I think.
Yeah, it's just...
that feels different from what I remember.
Yeah, it feels differently there.
But, it looks good. And the massive straight will mean... I think it's going to be impossible to get away, because you'll be able to gain like a second and a half in the toe down that straight on one lap, probably. So that should be good fun.
Well, yes. Yeah, that should certainly keep everybody together. So, before we let you go, mate, any shout-outs you want to give?
As always, you guys for organising and hosting and putting on a broadcast. I will look forward to watching that tomorrow. I just want to say a big congratulations to Carl. He fully deserved that win, and his pace was incredible tonight. So, well done him. Thanks to Matt and Russ as well for a good race. Unlucky to Russ, obviously, with the landmine he drove over. But it was good racing for the lap and a half before that happened with him.
Excellent.
That's me.
Well, always a pleasure, mate, and get some practice in this week, and we'll see you in Japan.
Yeah, I've got a couple of days off, so hopefully I'll be a bit better prepared next week.
Excellent. Well, thanks as always, Sam Blees.
Thanks, guys. See you soon. Cheers.
Good night.
Right, guys. So
that's interesting, because he's saying that everybody's catching up.
It's
interesting, wasn't it?
You do tend to find that, don't you? You see one driver doing really, really well, and some people get disheartened and go, I'm never going to beat them. And some people go, do you know what? I want to be as quick as him or her. And it really spurs them on. Anyway, it's that pressure pot time, Alan.
Well, I'm ready. I've got it all written down already, mate.
I'll tell you what, I'm just going to add one to that now, because I know where your vote is going. In TCR, Alan, who is your driver of the evening?
Hold on. Let me look carefully, because I don't want to make a mistake here. TCR, you say?
Yeah.
Hold on. Well, I've narrowed it down. There was 4 potentials, and then they were all destroyed by Captain Carl, who's did the drive of the season and won. So he's getting my vote.
So somehow I managed to guess that one right.
As well.
And
I'm going to make it easy because Hugo's getting the GT one because he won from start to finish, qualified first, and really did a really great drive.
excellent. Well, can't argue with those. Sam, your TCR driver of the evening.
Well, I'm not going as I always do, or most of the time, for the winners. Firstly, because Carl just need to secure his account, and when he's done that, maybe I will vote for him again. Joke aside, I'm gonna pick Russell because he drove the best 1.5 lap of the season, I think, and he continued on with a lap down just for the sake of it, and it's great to see people continuing to drive just for continuing.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Right.
Your GT4 driver of the evening?
I will pick Jason. I have not seen him spun.
Yeah, that's
good choice.
That is a good choice. Yeah,
and he was fighting with Jamie and Chris for a long time, and I think he's made a lot of progress recently, and it's good, and it needs to be noticed.
Yeah,
it was less than a minute. It was 58 seconds at the end of the race. They'd lost only 58 seconds to the other GT drivers over an hour. I think that's outstanding performance.
Right. Okay. So for me, I'm going to have to agree with Alan. My vote is going to go to Carl Hardy. Not because he won, but because of the way he won. It wasn't a win that was gifted to him. He had genuine pace, and even when the guys behind him sorted themselves out, he was still pulling away from them. So I'm going to agree with Alan on that one. And in GT4, for me, it was a toss-up between Jason and Chris. Just for the way that they drove tonight. I fully agree with Sam on the improvements from Jason, but I think on the basis that Sam voted for Jason, and I really enjoyed the battle between Chris and Jamie, my vote is going to go to Chris Needham. So that is round 10 done and dusted. Coming up in the next week on BSTV, as we said earlier, we are staying at Road Atlanta for GTCC on Sunday. That is our GT3 series. Looking forward to see how these GT3s go round here, Alan, and also I'm going to have my eye out for that landmine on that curb as well. So let's see if anybody else gets caught out. And then this time next week, we are back with this series from the wonderful Fuji. I've bought it. I've not loaded it up yet, but I'm told it is absolutely spectacular. And from what Sam Blees was telling us there, looks like we're going to have a very, very exciting race because nobody's going to be able to get away from anybody else. A big thank you to the drivers, as usual, for putting the show on, and a big thanks to everybody that joined in on the chat. I'm going to say commiserations to Russell, because I really do feel for him, and I also feel for Stefan as well, because I think Stefan would have been my vote for driver of the evening if it wasn't for that mistake on the last lap there. So it just leaves me to say goodnight, let the guys say goodnight, and then we'll close the broadcast. Good night, everybody. Thanks for watching, and make sure you stay safe.
Good night, folks. It's been a pleasure to be here with everybody, and look forward to next week.
And good night, everybody. See you next time around.